Is to fill up your tank if you're in need of encouragement and motivation.
Hey, everybody. It is Friday, August the 29th. It's the last Friday in the month, but y'all, this is the Inspiration Station, and y'all already know we upsize in 2025 all day, every day. Y'all, it's the last Friday. Do you understand me? It's the last Friday in the month. It's just going so fast. I don't know, because see, Monday felt like a little sluggish, and then Tuesday felt like Monday part two. To me, I don't know if anybody out there, can I get a witness? Am I the only person? I'm pretty sure I'm not. But welcome to Friday. I hope that today has been great. I know the best part of your day is right now because you're here with me. You don't have to tell me. I already know. You know, we don't have to be partial towards anybody else in your life, but this is the best time of your day, I'm pretty sure. So I hope that everything has been going great. And if you had challenges part of the day, and if you're still having some challenges, it just reminds you that you are an overcomer and how much you can endure, and not almost, but and also how you're able to see things through no matter how hard it may seem, and that you're still here. As I said on Friday, you're here to fight and fight another day. But you're still making it known without any question, and you're more than a conqueror. So I hope that everybody is glad to be here, because I'm glad to have you all here. Love to you all out there on YouTube Live, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Audible, Apple, Amazon, Spotify. I think that's everybody. And if I'm missing something, just charge it to my head and not my heart, is what they say, and especially in the church. But just saying hello to all of you all. Thank you so much for continuing to share, continuing to spread this stuff that we're doing here. That is not light. I don't take lightly by seeing those shares out there, getting those comments that I've been getting from a lot of you, and seeing those numbers just continue to increase. And you know what? I had to realize, when y'all are watching, I see the most watched on live. It was like 2.4 or 2.5, I want to say, thousand people watching live last week. And y'all, I'm thinking like, well, then when I go back to look at the YouTube clip, I'm like, why is it only showing 5 people? I'm like, on the live it said 2.4. Like, why? I had to learn that, again, live does not equate to what's actually being watched after. So that's just during the live stream. So y'all, I had a slow moment, but I was like, I know I can read and I know I can see, but it was 2.4. So again, just going to show to a testament that whatever you wanting to start, or what you feel like you're really needing to get started on, despise not what seems small beginnings, because nothing is small that you're going to do. And but I will say every small step is a big step. So what are you waiting on, and what are you needing to do to get on out there that people just, are going to gravitate to? So anyway, I'm not going to go into that, because that's not what we're talking about today, okay? But I will get started just by saying, y'all know this is the Inspiration Station. Y'all know where it comes from. And if this is your first time, the Inspiration Station, that literal name is a nickname I was given in 2012, because someone told me that I am a person who sends out things, or gives encouragement that seems like a radio station sending out signals, knowing what people need to hear. So here we are now, utilizing this as a show and as a podcast, and why you're here. And the Inspiration Station is not just about Josh at all. It's about you as well. You are the inspiration. You're an inspiration to any and everybody who has ever crossed your path, or who is in your life. And most importantly, you're an inspiration to yourself, whether you want to believe it or not. I'm here to just break the news to you. I know, I'm sorry I had to break this news to you, but you are an inspiration to yourself. Just look at your life and the things that you've overcome, the things you have had victory over, the things you've had challenges with, and obstacles that still made you out to be the strong person you are today, the resilient person that you are today. So just look at even yesterday. It's probably some things you went through, and you went through that thing, and you said, you know what? I can continue to do things like that because of what I saw my strength from yesterday. I can pull from my strength from yesterday to move forward into my tomorrow. So again, what to expect on here: we're open, honest, and vulnerable. We're open, honest, and vulnerable all the time, not just with others, but also with ourselves. Oftentimes, the greatest relationship that's often neglected is with ourselves. So being open, honest, and vulnerable with you, the person that's in the mirror. I'm not going to sing Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson, but many of you all probably just did. Also, there'll be people who are coming on. And again, as we're kind of coming close to the end of the summer, which I thank God, because it's been hot. I don't know about y'all, it's been hot, but at the same time, I like when the cold weather starts to come in and it's cooling off just a little bit. And I just relocated to Atlanta, Georgia last Monday, and it's even cooling off here. And this is hot Atlanta, and I know about it. I've lived here a couple of times over the course of my life, so I'm kind of liking the temperature drops. But people's schedules are kind of slowing down a little bit. So I'm going to have some people start to come back and be interviewed by me. And so they come in here to share their lives with us and give us some nuggets of wisdom and things that we can apply to our own lives to move us forward in our path, in our journey, in our purpose, in our calling, in our walk, everything, all of those things. So those are things that are going to be coming up and it's what you should be expecting on here. And again, everybody is a superstar to me. Everybody is a superstar. I don't care what part of life, walk of life, status, wealth, whatever, socioeconomic status, anything. I don't care about that. Your money, finances, whatever, you're a superstar to me. You own the corner or whether you in the penthouse in Manhattan, you are a superstar to me. And I wish sometimes we looked at each other a little bit like through that lens because everyone is great. And sometimes we think about greatness equating to level or what society might say is great as far as ranking and status and things of that nature. And again, when people work very hard and they climb those ladders and they build things for themselves and do really well for themselves, that's to be honored and respected. But they're no greater than you as a person. So let's get right on into this show today. It's going to be really quick. Something that also all of us are very familiar with, but I want to say we're going to talk about today insecurity. It's an inside job. Insecurity, it's an inside job. And I want you to also think about that, separating that insecurity. So insecurity, so it's an inside job. What is the definition of insecurity, y'all? It's just uncertainty or anxiety about oneself. Or lack of confidence, if you want to be simple or make it a simplistic definition with that, with the insecurity. But the opposite of that, security is the state of feeling safe, stable, and free from fear or anxiety. Again, insecurity is the uncertainty or anxiety about oneself. So that means you, talking about you, or lack of confidence, lack of self-confidence within yourself. Security, which is the opposite, is the state of feeling safe, stable, and free from fear or anxiety. Now, sometimes as a clinician, I always hear people, and again, not even as a clinician, but even as just a human being, and I'm pretty sure many of you have heard it, and you probably said it yourself. That person is so insecure. Oh my God, here they come again. Oh my God, they so insecure. Oh, they insecure. She's insecure. He's insecure. You're insecure. You're insecure. You're insecure. So, and I begin to challenge that. And some people over the years, I think they used to roll their eyes at me, and I don't care. Or even sometimes I've challenged my own clients to where when they mention about being an insecure person or somebody's an insecure person, I'm always saying no one is an insecure person, but we all have insecurities. Because if you say that person's insecure, I'm going to say insecure on what? No. They're just an insecure person. Okay, insecure in what? No one is simply insecure. We all are people with insecurities. If you're saying that you're an insecure person, it's almost like saying that you're insecure about every single thing in your life. And we know that to not be true, correct? Speak up a little bit, y'all, because y'all making me nervous. You're not insecure in everything in your life, but you do have areas of insecurities. We all have them. One of the things I like to ask sometimes too, asking the questions too, when we think about insecurities as it is an inside job, usually they stem from things that come from the outside, the external things. What we sometimes I like to refer to the terms internal locus of control and external locus of control. External locus of control, if I give you a quick example, is we're in traffic, right? And somebody darts out in front of you and almost makes you, run off the road or whatever, and you just go off the handle and start cussing and, going off, and you want to fly after them and get their tag, or you want to do something else, but then there's an internal locus of control that maybe that person does the same thing, and I'm saying, oh, I hope they get to where they're getting safely, because Lord have mercy. Anyway, what were you talking about? Well, you go right on about your time in the car. What I'm saying by that is we're affected sometimes when we're affected by things on the outside. We might say, well, why did you cuss when that driver just cut you off? It's like, they made me cuss because they ran me off the road. It's like, well, they didn't make you cuss. That was a choice. This was the choice that you made, you wanted to react to. It was a reaction. And then the other person who just like, I hope they make it to where they're going to safely anyway, listen to the music or whatever. That person made a choice on how they wanted to respond to that situation, so that it's not something that they give power to someone else. Same thing with insecurity. Most times it starts from the outside, and then it affects the inside. But again, if I take on what's being said to me, how I'm being treated, or anything of that nature, it's up to me to whether how I want to react to it, and how I want to either take it on or I want to challenge it. most times if a person may not, where other people don't have the same insecurities as others, they may, maybe somebody has an insecurity in how they dress. But somebody else may be teased about how they dress, and they can care less because when they looked in the mirror, they had enough confidence to say, I look amazing. This is what I wanted to wear. So no matter what anybody says, if anybody wants to throw a joke or a shot, it doesn't bother me. I'm not going to allow that to be the external locus of control of me to cause me to feel less than, or cause me to start feeling weary about what I have on, or questionable, or doubting what I have on. So just a little therapeutic nugget for a second, but I want to jump into you. I told y'all I'm not going to be long. I'm going to let you get back to your little Fridays, your little funky Fridays, because I know some of y'all are off from work with family and things, and I know this is an extended weekend for all of y'all. And for y'all who don't work on Monday, I hope your feet itch for at least 10 minutes because I will be working. Did I say that out loud? I did. So what was that? Was that an external locus of control, or just that I'm crazy? I don't know. But anyway, now, really quick, sometimes the questions we can ask ourselves when we talk about where do insecurities come from is you might say, what was said to you? What did you believe? Who did it? How did it affect you? When did it happen? And sometimes, was it someone who said something to you, did something to you, caused you to feel a certain way, or was it you? Because sometimes, as I've taught you all before, we can have certain irrational beliefs about ourselves that we've created based on a certain narrative we chose to believe, or that we conjured up for ourselves. And the insecurity may have been birthed because of something that we started, or the origin started with us. But I guarantee you that some external force or focus of some kind, some type of external factor affected you and caused you to become insecure in a certain area. So, types of insecurities. I'm going to name some today really quick too. Some things you're very familiar with, and some that you're not. Some of you'll be like, I don't even think about that being an insecurity, even though it is. So first one, appearance, body image. The way you look, concerns with the way you look. And as I've told you guys before, I had a real quick in elementary school here in Atlanta. I'm gonna find them people, but anyway, in Atlanta, when the crowd of kids in the the cafeteria were chanting "UGLY, Josh ain't easy on the eyes." As I heard that over and over again for some days and a couple of weeks, until they finally stopped when I got up and bowed and said it with them. That caused me to immediately think, and before that point, I never thought of myself as ugly, but I believed it then. And then it affected me until later years. I still feel like I look in the mirror or something. I'm like, I saw who I was seeing, and people would call me, tell me how handsome I was, how attractive I was. And I was like, what do you want? Like, this is a whole lie. And it's like, well, why did that become an insecurity? Again, that was an external force or factor that was directed at me, and I took it on and I believed it, and it took root in me. So then now this is an insecurity of mine. So now I don't think I'm as attractive. I don't think that I'm somebody that people want to, I'm not easy on the eyes, as they say, or I don't think that people will want to be in a relationship with me. And then when I become older, if they do, and they tell me how attractive I am, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I think I'm attractive. But then if you're like, if somebody may, cheat on you or something like that, then that brings the insecurity to be like, well, I thought I was attractive, but maybe I'm not because you went somewhere else. You get what I'm saying? So again, insecurity, appearance, whether that's if you work out all the time, if you're starting to work out, but maybe you were overweight before, and you might think that when you see people who are in great shape and things of that nature, you're like, oh, I know they don't have no insecurity. I know they got it all together, and you have no idea what some people, when they look in the mirror, when you look at them, you see muscles, you see definition, you see volume on them. You see all that. I almost sound like a science teacher. That's what you see density, you see all of that. But you see all of this a wonderful sculpting of somebody's body, not knowing when they look in the mirror, they might see who they were when they were overweight, which again is called body dysmorphia. It's like, so you see one thing, but they see something totally different. So they might still be insecure. You compliment them on their body, it's like, oh my God, you are killing it. And in their head, they're telling thank you, but in their head, they're like, yeah, but I could be a little bit better with my abs, or I could be better with this, because when they look in the mirror, they still see that. Or again, like I talked about, people dressing. they might not feel as popular, or we're in certain, I remember back being in school, people wore Tommy Hilfiger and certain name brands. And it's like, well, if you didn't have those name brands on, you might have had on off brand, or you might have had on something that wasn't common. And it probably would make somebody feel insecure about what they would wear. Again, social acceptance is an insecurity, fear because of a fear of rejection or abandonment. I oftentimes hear a lot of people say, I have social anxiety. I have social anxiety. And I'll break down to my clients, I'm like, do you have social anxiety, or are you projecting your insecurities or the things you don't like about yourself onto people who will be around you? So now, because of that, you're thinking the way you think about yourself is going to go and magnify around the people that you are surrounded by. So now you don't want to be around anybody. You want to be isolated. Because now if I think that I'm not good enough, or I'm worthless, or I'm useless, or I'm dumb, or ignorant, well, I'm going to think that these people are going to think the same thing. So now let me go run and hide. But then we call that, I have social anxiety. And it's like, no, I probably have a fear of rejection and abandonment. And then I'm projecting my own insecurities and my own negative thoughts about myself onto other people. So social acceptance. Everybody wants to be accepted. I don't care what, you ain't got to accept me. Well, there's a healthy level of needing validation. We all need some level of validation. The dangerous part about that is if I'm living to seek the validation. If I'm working a job, we talk about acceptance. For just a second. If I'm working a job, I want to know that I'm doing a great job. So if they tell me, Josh, you're doing a great job, I'm like, cool, bet. Glad I'm keeping my job. Versus them coming to tap me on my shoulder and saying, your services are no longer needed. It's like, why didn't anybody tell me? Like, give me room, because even validation may be room for improvement. That's validating. I'm doing a great job, but I can do better. That's still validating me in a way too. Didn't want to stay on that too long. Also in relationships, and this could be of any kind, family, friends, romantic, anything like that, where the person might have a connection fear, connectivity fear. They're connected. And again, that goes back to still the fear of abandonment and rejection. Also with any type of relationship based on how someone was treated. Say that someone was very loyal to a friend for several years, and then that friend deceives them, or that friend does something, lies about them, and then it comes back around to the person. They're like, no, that person couldn't have lied on me because they love me. They've been in my life for 20 plus years. So it's no way that they would do something like that. Or a person would, so I'm gonna stay right there, but if that person is like, that creates an insecurity now, because it's like, okay, so when I get close to people, it's who else is going to lie to me? Who else is going to deceive me? If you get in a romantic relationship and you've been cheated on, or you've been what is it? I was going to say the word, y'all help me. If you've been ghosted, or somebody just dropped you like a quote unquote bad habit or anything, somebody has been consistently lying to you in a relationship. Now that person might have an insecurity of having, I don't really trust you. I don't know if I can trust people. So now to connect or get too close to you, or open up my heart to you, or be vulnerable with you, I don't want to be hurt again. So I'm going to be closed off. So I'm insecure to get in certain close, intimate relationships because I just don't want to see the same thing happen again. And when you think about insecurities in general, that is a theme, is that I just don't want it to happen again. Which can also be linked to trauma, which that's big T trauma or little T trauma. We'll talk about that another day. But this can be something I'm afraid it's going to happen again, so I'm insecure about it. And again, the only way that I'm not going to be insecure about this is if I see consistency in certain areas that I'm afraid of. I always say this too: if there's consistency with inconsistency, that's going to birth a lack of trust. The next kind is intelligence and abilities. This is where you're doubting your own skills. I also say it's just you being an imposter. You see, I got degrees on the wall and stuff like that, but that's like me sitting here saying, I don't know why they want me to speak for that. Or I don't know why I have the job. My clients keep coming back to me. I don't know, because I do the best that I can, but I'm not the best counselor. Somebody else that's out there who has greater skill set. I wouldn't be surprised if my clients left me at any moment because I don't really see what they see in me. And that's me doubting my own skills and my competence and what I do and how well I do it. Just like many of you, I'm pretty sure some of y'all are going like, oh, get out of my business, Josh, because there are things that you do. You have certain intelligence and abilities that may be buried sometimes, but it's there. And when you get in certain social groups, you might freeze. because you're like, I'm hearing people speak of a different acumen, or I'm hearing people speak of a different vernacular or anything of that nature. And it's like, I don't fit in right here. And it's like, why don't you relax? And I bet and guarantee that if you just show up and be yourself and think about who you are and what you can bring to the table, you have just as much intelligence and ability, even if it's something if it's a different lane or it's a different expression of it. And again, some of you all have great careers, great jobs. Some of you probably are in school and all of that. And sometimes I think it's because you can forget about all the things you possess, because now you're thinking about other people, or again, I'm going to get to this in a minute, but you might be comparing, which again, that is another theme, as I mentioned, about thinking something's going to happen again. Another theme in insecurity is thinking that, oh, y'all, I lost my thought. Come back, come back. I'm not doubting my skills, I promise. But I think another theme is comparison. If you start to compare yourself to other people in this subject matter of thinking how smart they are, or they're so intelligent, and you think that they're more intelligent than you are, and it's like their intelligence might be expressed differently, but that doesn't make you less intelligent. Or if they know certain things that you don't, that doesn't make you intelligent. That just makes you a student and gives you a chance to learn from that person. But you have things, I promise, that you can teach people as well that they might not be so knowledgeable about. So also, the next thing is success and achievement. Back to this comparison, pressure to succeed at all times, because I'm insecure in this. If I'm not seen at such a high level, if I don't have such accolades or such achievement, I'm going to be insecure, because I want to be able to be favored by certain people. I want to be, and again, comparison. I'm looking on social media, I'm looking at other people in my family, and I'm thinking like, well, I don't have all of this, that, and the other. And sometimes you'll be so insecure within your own level of success and achievement. You'll dummy down who you are. You'll minimize yourself. You'll think small. So then even when you're offered certain things, you'll start counting out all the reasons why you should be, what are those 4 Ds, y'all? Disqualified, discarded, dismissed, or disposed of. It's like, oh no, I don't have this and I don't have that. Let me tell you something. I would do that all the time, sometimes with friends, family, and also even with God. God would offer certain opportunities up for me, and I immediately would be like, oh no, I can't do that. They made a error. They don't want me to do this because I don't have the list of accolades and I don't have this. And God would be like, would you be quiet, son? I don't need you to have all that. You're a success. Also, think about how do you define success and achievement? Everybody's definition of success and achievement is totally different. But if you're insecure in that, it's probably coming because you just feel this internal pressure that's driven by external factors to succeed. You need to look away in order for people to respect you. You need to perform in a certain way in order for people to speak well to you, or even consider you, or think that you are a dependable person, or somebody who wants to invest time in you or invest in you, period. You have to have a certain level of achievement or success. Next thing is self-worth. This is where you have issues with how others perceive you. It's worth tied. I like to say it's worth tied. When I say that, meaning that my self-worth oftentimes can be, a person might feel insecure within their self-worth, because in order for them to feel worthy, it has to be a reflection on what they can do for people versus who they are. Their worth is in what they can perform in, what they can provide, and not in who they are as a person. And also, I'm always thinking about what other people have to say. My worth is built on what people think. My worth is on people, how they revere me, how they respect me, if I can meet their needs, or if I can meet their standards of sort, then I have worth, versus me knowing that I have self-worth regardless. And again, it's how I perceive myself. So thinking about, again, external factors. Somebody may have said something to you, of saying that you're not good enough, or that you're unworthy of love, you're unlovable. And they might have not said it, but sometimes words don't have to be spoken to you, but you can often be treated in a certain way that words couldn't equate to. It's like, okay, they didn't tell me I wasn't good enough, but they treated me like I wasn't. Next one, y'all, is in finances. This is a big one. Fear of also it can be tied when we talk about being insecure in finances. Sometimes, again, this goes back to comparison. You think you need to be in a certain bracket to be seen as a person who is financially well? Or what is wealthy? Is wealthy always money? No, it's not. Wealthy, and also wealth is built over time. Also, but can you be wealthy in other areas of your life, with family, with friends, with your career, with your fitness, with your self-love, with your self-care, with so many other things other than money? But then we think about finances. Sometimes the person might have insecurity in that because they have a fear of being broke. Maybe they grew up in poverty, or maybe they live paycheck to paycheck, so they're insecure in that. Or maybe also they're scared to be in a relationship with someone who is highly wealthy and financially abundant, because they don't have the same level of uh, they don't have the same level of finances. And so they might think of themselves lesser than. It's like, oh no, I can't be with somebody like that. I'm sorry, I know you like me, but you probably want to be with somebody else who's on your level of financial gain or anything of that nature. So I'm a little insecure about that. So no, let me keep staying down here with the middle class, or somebody who's at my financial level. Which again, we're more than our finances, but we do need money. We're not gonna play about that. But somebody might be insecure in that because they're always thinking about loss, or feeling like they're going to always have just enough or less than. Another part about this is another thing is even communication is an insecurity. What if you lack a voice? You don't advocate for yourself. I know for me, I used to, and I know all of y'all, be honest, you probably have been this way as well. I grew up being told, be quiet a lot by my family, friends, sometimes teachers. Never at home. My mom, I really didn't talk a lot, y'all. I wasn't, and this wasn't all the time, but I was excited all the time. I always had joy, no matter what was going on in my life. I always had joy. I was excited, and people were, oh my God, calm down. You too loud. You too loud. Oh my God, you singing too loud. Because it was always people trying to shut me up, which I know why, because it was supposed to, it's God, he wanted me to use my voice in many ways. It was going to make the devil mad, or it was going to impact many people. So when people would ask me questions, I got to a certain age, they asked me a question or something, and I might have to repeat myself. But I'm sorry, what did you say? Then the second time I would speak up very clear. And I mean, and you would think as a singer, you could hear me crystal clear when I would sing words and things of that nature, but speaking, not always, depending upon who I was speaking to, because I was always told to be quiet. So I felt like I don't need to be so loud. But people, I'm getting tired of people asking me, you said it again? Huh? What'd you say? So even advocating for yourself, you might have a hard time with communicating your wants and your needs because you feel insecure in that, because maybe somebody shut you down or tried to shut you up about asking for what you want, or telling you to just be thankful for what you have. So it's like, I don't want to ask for too much. I don't want to say, now I hear people say all the time, well, I don't want to be a burden. It's like, well, that's communication. You need to be able to speak up and communicate with somebody in relationship, with your boss. I mean, we can in any kind of way, with your kids, anything like that. But also thinking about that, insecurity in communication could also, if you're in a relationship and maybe when you speak about having an issue, or even at a job, you speak up for yourself and want to advocate for yourself, and you might be met with a negative reaction, or a strong reaction that might be demeaning or condescending, being mocked or anything. So again, that makes a person insecure to speak up or to share certain things, to be open, honest, and vulnerable with other people. Last one I want to look at, y'all, is even job security. I know y'all like, wait a minute, that is an insecurity, because maybe someone has had a history of where they thought they were doing really well in a job and then they lost their job, or they're so stressed with certain things about making sure that their finances go a certain way or taking care of their family. They're always trying to make sure, they're afraid that they're going to lose their job at some point, or they think that they won't be able to have to keep up the skill set that they need to keep the job. So a person could be insecure in that way as well, thinking that, okay, I have this job, but am I going to be able to keep it? And it's like, well, why did they hire you? If they didn't think that you could do this job, they wouldn't have hired you, trust me. But because that person maybe in the past has done very well in a job, thought that they were putting their best foot forward, and then they were let go. And it's like, well, oh my goodness, I'm always on edge at work. So those are just a couple of parts. I told you I'm not going to be long, but I just want to give you a couple of ways, about just seven quick things on overcoming insecurities. There are several different there's several more ways to overcome insecurities, but I just want to give you a quick seven, especially because when you think of those things of thinking that there's going to be a reoccurrence of something happening again in your life in some of those areas we talked about in the types, or also where we have this comparison thing all the time. We're comparing ourselves to people, places, things, and ideas all the time. And so this causes a person to stay in that trap of being insecure. So 7 things really quick is first, focus on the things you like about yourself and practice gratitude. It's so easy to love on other people and tell them all the great things that they do and how well they do and how great of a job that they're doing and how they should be proud of themselves because you're proud of them. And stuff. But how often do you do that to yourself? I ask people sometimes, what do you like about you? And they're like, uh, but then when I ask them what they don't like about themselves, they can give me a laundry list. And it's like, wait a minute, what are you speaking to yourself? Like, is this how you talk to you? But I just heard you give so much words of love and affirmation to other people. Why aren't you doing that for yourself? So again, focus on the things that you like about yourself and practice gratitude. Next, increase your knowledge in areas that you feel less competent in. It's nothing like learning. It's okay to not know everything. You don't need to know everything. If you are around people who feel like you need to know everything, run away because you should be learning from one another. But also, if you feel like there's some certain tools or skills or abilities that you need to work on to get stronger in, let's do that because therefore you feel a lot more confident, and also in that way it lessens that insecurity. If somebody is a singer like myself and I say I really want to increase my range because when I get to that one part my voice breaks and so it's like I'm insecure about singing songs like this or that and the other, and it's like, okay, well, if you do feel insecure about that, it's okay, but let's see what we can do about it. Let's get a little bit more competent. Let's get some voice lessons. Let's see how we can expand your range or things of that nature. So do some things that are going to allow you to gain knowledge in the areas that you feel less competent in. Also, recognize what triggers your insecurities, then challenge them rationally. Sometimes if that thought of I'm not good enough, which again, those negative core beliefs, I'm not good enough, I'm unlovable, I'm not safe, I'm trapped. I mean, it's several, but those things like that are not going to just magically disappear. But it means when they come up, I can challenge them quicker because now I'm realizing what's rational and what's not. So if I recognize a trigger that makes me feel insecure, it's like let me settle myself for a minute. What is this insecurity? Now, can I challenge it without adding or subtracting? As I said last week, don't add or subtract anything from it. Look at it from a rational perspective and say, because like, what if a mother is saying, I'm a terrible parent, I'm not a good enough mother. And it's like, am I not a good enough mother in this moment, or am I just having a challenge with raising my child because there's no manual to this and I'm doing the best that I can? That's the difference. It's not that you're not a good enough parent, it's just that you're having a challenging moment and trying to learn how to steward your child well, even though it's not going to be something that's going to just be told to you or given to you in a manual, right? Don't compare yourself to others. Comparison is the thief of joy. I've been saying that. It's easy to look at somebody. I ain't comparing myself to nobody. It's easy sometimes, especially on social media, television. People present such a great presentation of something, and therefore you're like, well, I'm not this, and I don't have that, and I don't have. Look at your life and look how blessed you are and what you have now. Is there more for you? Absolutely. It's up to you to go get it, but it's more for you. And again, you're in your own lane and you're unique. There's nobody in the world like you. Not even one person has the same fingerprint, your fingerprints. Not one person. So what does that say? You're supposed to stand out. You're supposed to be different. And also, what looks so great for somebody else might not be great for you if you actually look behind the scenes of somebody's life. And it's not to say that it's like that for everybody, but what glitters is not always gold or glamorous. But learn to love and appreciate your life and what you have and where you are at the moment, because you're not going to stay there, right? Another thing is, don't let others define your worth or value. I wish you would let somebody tell you who you are. Let that start with you. And sometimes, again, that can be challenging because it'd be hard because you might have had people tell you who you are and tell you what your worth made you feel like your worth of value was less than it was. But it's up to you to start looking at yourself and saying, I know I'm worth more than this. I know I have a greater value, but nobody can tell you that. That's something you have to discover for yourself. Another thing is practice self-care. I'm saying that, I'm going to keep saying that. Practice self-care and build confidence by affirming and validating yourself. Look in the mirror sometimes and say those affirmations to yourself. I am amazing. I am successful. I am beautiful inside and out. I am whatever. I'm the best this. I'm the greatest that. Whatever you need to do to make sure that you're edifying and building yourself up, let's make sure we're practicing that. because the more you say it, the more you're going to believe it. We can say negative things about ourselves or take on the negative things people have said about us and continue to repeat it. We can reverse that thing and say positive things, edifying, uplifting things to ourselves and believe it. Sometimes you might not believe it right away, but I bet you there are certain people right now, and including yourself, there are certain things you kept saying about yourself, and now you see the fruit of it. You see that you actually are walking in your words. You're walking in your words. That's something I like that. You see that you're walking in your words, the very things that you were speaking. We speak those things that are not as though they were. So even if I'm affirming myself and I don't believe it at first, if I keep saying it, I'm going to start drawing to those things that align with what I'm saying. Last thing is to get out of your comfort zone. Press past your fear of failure or success. Sometimes insecurity, again, I'm scared something's going to happen, or I'm scared this is going to happen again. Or also, I'm comparing myself to other things, other people, other places, other people's lives, or things of that nature. So I got to get out of my comfort zone, because that might be keeping me insecure, because I feel like there actually is a lack of security in your comfort zone. So there might be some things you want to do. There might want to be some things you want to become. There might be some things that you want to attain or acquire, but it's going to require you to get out of your comfort zone. And we talked about this before, but you got to press past thinking that you're going to fail. Also, some of you might be afraid of actually succeeding and having and doing and becoming the very thing that you desire. So it starts with getting out of your comfort zone, because there's no security in comfort. All right. So I hope that you all have enjoyed tonight. I told you I wasn't going to be long before you, but I hope that you all have an amazing rest of this evening, rest of your week. Have a safe Labor Day weekend. If y'all would like to ship me some barbecue or something like that while I'm working on Monday, you can do so. I will send you my address. I will not, but just remember, again, we have all types of insecurities, and you are not an insecure person. You're just a person with insecurities. And even the people who you highly respect and you think have it all together, they look like they got it all together. I mean, every T is crossed, every I is dotted, but they have insecurities. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Everybody has insecurities except for me. So, yeah. Did y'all hear that lightning flash? Yeah. So let me stop playing, because I have insecurities as well. So, but I'm not an insecure person, and neither are you. So, as I always like to say, I will see you guys here at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm having to get used to remembering I'm on the Eastern Standard Time side of things now. But I will see you next Friday on the Inspiration Station, y'all, where we upsize in 2025. And as I always tell you, you have always been great. You're just getting better. And let me add this. You're also figuring out that you've always been this way. You always been this way. I said, well, y'all, what's going on? You've always been great. You're just getting better, and you're just figuring out that it's always been the case. That's what I want to say. My brain was toggled. It's been a long day, y'all. Give me some grace. They might have hit it an insecurity. Ha! You've always been great, but you're just getting better, and you're just finding out it's always been this way. So have a great Friday weekend. Be safe. Spread love. We need love now more than ever. All right? Talk to y'all soon. See you next Friday. Bye.
Thanks for watching the Inspiration Station with Joshua Lenox. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.